Hi, AP. All right, today's topic in music is texture, all about texture. Texture is how the melodic, rhythmic, and harmonic materials are combined in a composition, which determines the overall quality of the sound in a piece of music. Texture is described in regards to density or thickness, or range or width between the lowest and highest pitches in relative terms, as well as to the number of voices or voice parts and the relationship between those voices. For example, a thick texture may contain layers of instruments. One layer could be the string section, another the brass section. The thickness is also changed by the amount and the richness of the instruments playing the piece. The thickness varies from light to thick, and a piece's texture may change by the number and character of parts playing at once, the timbre of the instruments or voices playing these parts, and the harmony, tempo, and the rhythms used. There are four main categories of texture. Number one is monophonic. Monophonic texture includes a single melodic line with no accompaniment. It might be played by a single person on their own, or by many people playing or singing the same melody at the same time. So if you have a group of students who are singing the Star Spangled Banner a cappella, all together in unison, that's a great example of monophonic texture. If I played this on the piano, that's monophonic texture. Number two, homophonic texture. This is perhaps the most common texture that we are likely to encounter. It's basically a melody with accompaniment. When a piece of music has a clear melody with chords accompanying it and supporting it, chances are it's homophonic texture. Multiple voices, of which one, the melody, stands out prominently, and the others form a background or harmonic accompaniment. So I could take the same Star Spangled Banner example and go from monophonic texture to homophonic texture. Another great example of homophonic texture could be Scott Joplin's Entertainer, where you hear the melody in the right hand and the accompaniment in the left hand. Check it out. Besides monophonic texture and homophonic texture, we have polyphonic texture, which also goes by contrapuntal texture or counterpoint texture. You'll most often hear polyphonic texture. Polyphonic texture is multiple melodic voices, which are to a considerable extent independent from each other. Characteristic texture of Renaissance music and Baroque music is what polyphonic texture is all about. And here's a great example. This is a Bach prelude. And you'll hear both hands, okay, have an equal sort of amount of emphasis with a melody, which therefore creates polyphonic texture. Each one is acting very independent. Heterophonic texture. Heterophonic texture is two or more voices simultaneously performing variations of the same melody. Heterophonic texture is mostly found in the music of non-Western cultures, Native American music, Middle Eastern music, South African music. In the YouTube video link that you'll watch next, you'll find listening examples for heterophonic music, as well as these other textures that we discussed. So just a quick recap. Monophonic texture, one melody. Homophonic texture, melody with accompaniment. Polyphonic texture, multiple melodic voices which are independent from one another that have their own, in essence, their own melody. Heterophonic music. Check out the YouTube video. Thanks for watching.